Welcome everybody. My name is Max. I am the US-based sales engineer for Kakapo Systems. And today, we're really excited to go over our brand new product, Vision360. So what we're really trying to accomplish in this webinar is we want to go over what Vision360 is, what it can do for you. We actually want to show you the product in action, and then we'd like to kind of break for questions and answers. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, what exactly is Vision360? So Vision360 is, if you saw the byline on the previous slide, it's a complete replacement for the legacy ECCR and DBS platform. So Vision360 really is just a contact center reporting and analytics tool for BroadSoft-based platforms. Now, Vision360 provides effortless access to real-time as well as historical data, and it provides powerful and customizable analytics and reporting tools. Now, why Vision360? So number one, Vision360 contains all the benefits of ECCR and more. We've added things such as Cradle To Grave Reporting. We have customizable reports. We're going to have customizable scheduled reports. And Vision360 provides, honestly, a full view of all platforms. So we're not looking at just call center or shortly contact center. We're also looking at non-call center applications as well. So we have outbound call reports for sales teams, auto tenant and hunt group reports. Vision360 really provides a full view of everything on an account. Now, instead of continuing to talk about it, I actually want to show you folks Vision360 in action. Now, the Vision360 that we're looking at, this dashboard here, what's great about Vision360 is this is the dashboard that everybody's going to see as soon as the licensing is added to their account. There's really no additional configuration needed in order to get this dashboard set up. As soon as your clients log in, they're going to see this right away. Now, the dashboard was designed to, provide kind of a high-level overview of what's going on. So for the first, 8 boxes here, we have important metrics such as, how many calls are in queue, how many calls were answered, what's our unreturned abandoned call sitting at. If I start going down the left-hand side here, we can look at our top performing queues, such as how many calls were answered in a certain queue, abandoned, overflowed, how many agents are joined. And if I scroll a little further down, we can actually take a look at some of those agent, some of our top performing agents. For instance, Lee here, he's answered 12 calls. He has an average handle time of 33 seconds, and he's currently available. Same with 7. We can see, however, that Aaron, GK, Steve, they're all technically unavailable or signed out. Now, let me refresh this real quick. If I scroll down here and I go to the right of our top performing agents, we have 2 different things here. We have our live now, which is going to show how many calls are currently live in your queue. So whether they're sitting in the queue or whether they've been answered by agents, we have 1 sitting in queue. And if I click that, the system will actually tell me who's called in, their queue position, and if they were talking to an agent, it would tell me the agent that they're talking to. Going back to our dashboard here, the call outcome is related to your total calls up above. Pretty much what it's going to show is what's happening. What's the outcome of the calls that you've had. This is our live account. This is Kakapo's live account. So we do a lot of testing on this account. You can see we have quite a few abandoned calls. If I hover over it, it says 44. But you can also see we have a bunch that were escaped, answered, transferred, or overflowed. Going back up to our total calls over here. If you take a look, I have it set to 30-minute intervals, so it's showing me calls every 30 minutes. Again, if I want to figure out exactly how many calls happen at a certain time, I can always hover over it so the system will tell me. Or, maybe we start taking calls at 10, so I don't really need this 9 to 9:30. I can actually just click this little gear cog here, update our start time, and I can also change the intervals as well. So there's a lot of customization available within Vision360. You can always change what you're looking at. And speaking of changing what you're looking at, you folks may have noticed this today, week, month over here. So the dashboard, depending on what time frame you have set, will reconfigure itself to show you data for the time frame you want to see. So if I update it to a week, we can see that a lot of this has updated as well. If I update it to a month, we can see all the changes here. Now, I mentioned before that Vision360 has basically all the good stuff of ECCR, and we've added even more to it. So to demonstrate, I'm actually going to go in just to our basic call center summary here. And you can see we have all the same metrics, all the important things: incoming calls, answered calls, abandoned calls. This report is actually pretty large. Now, let's say that this report is great for me, but maybe I need to make some changes. I don't need all these metrics on here. It's a little much for me. So what anyone can do within Vision360 on any single one of our reports, you have to the right of your search bar your three little lines menu. If you click that, you can actually go ahead and you can take out whatever metrics you don't want to see on there. So maybe I'll take some of these out here. And then, if I wanted to add one, I can always add another one through here as well. So it's fully customizable. You can add whatever metrics you'd prefer to see. And then the other thing too is with Vision360, maybe I'm a newer call center supervisor. Maybe this is one of the first call center reporting softwares that I've used before. If I'm unsure of what a specific metric means, what I can do is I can always hover over it, and then the system will actually explain it to me. So if I don't know what a certain metric is, I can always add it, check to see what it means, and then from there decide, oh, this is great, I need this in my report, or okay, this isn't really what I'm looking for. Now, one of the additional features that it will be available, when this product goes to market is we are adding reporting templates. So let's say I customize this call center report. Everything on it is what I want to see, and I want to come back to this report every single time. I don't want to have to go ahead and add and remove the different categories or the different metrics. With reporting templates, you'll be able to save whatever reports you've customized, so you don't have to go through and add and remove all these different metrics every time. You'll have a drop-down list. You say, I want Max's call center summary, and it'll then provide you that report that you've saved. Now, what if I want this report sent to me? With Vision360, as I mentioned, we do have scheduled reports available. And with the reporting templates, we'll also be able to add customized scheduled reporting. So at the moment, scheduled reports are going to be canned. So you have your abandoned call summary, account codes, all these great canned reports already here available for you. When this product goes to market, you'll also have the benefit of your reporting templates. So again, if I want that customized call center summary that I created, all I'll have to do is from here below this, the last scan report, we'll have our reporting templates. I'll select it, choose the interval that I want it to go out in, daily, weekly, monthly. The report recipients will always auto-include your own email in there because you're creating the report, but it's really easy to add in other users as needed. When you're done, all you do is you press save. And I did want to mention here that it is on our roadmap. At the moment, all reports will be sent out at midnight. However, we will be adding the ability to customize what time the reports go out. So if you have a call center supervisor who wants to receive a report maybe at 8:30 a.m. on Monday mornings or 3:30 in the afternoon on Fridays, they'll be able to customize those times as well. So I've gone over a couple of the dashboard. We looked at a call center summary, which is pretty similar to what you'd have with your ECCR reporting. But let's actually take a look at some of the different reports we have to offer. Now, one of the most important things for any call center is tracking abandoned calls. We all know how important it is to make sure that we don't abandon too many calls. And we have an abandoned call summary here, just like an ECCR reporting. So you'll see how many calls were received, how many calls abandoned. You can customize this time frame here. I set it to 15 seconds, but whatever makes the most sense for your clients. You'll have all the same great information. I can always click on a queue as well, and the system will go ahead and it'll show me all those abandoned calls. Let's say I'm a call center supervisor, and in my call center, it varies from really busy, where all my agents are on the phone, and I have 20 people waiting to talk to an agent. Other times, I have 20 agents not on the phone, and I have 2 agents on the phone, and I have to figure out what to do with those other 20 agents while they're waiting for calls. So I want to prioritize calling back the abandoned callers. Now, I can always go to the abandoned call summary here, and I can call these people from this list. However, we've added this new feature called Unreturned Abandoned Calls, and this is what I'd recommend instead of going off the abandoned call summary. Now, the way this list works is, let's say I call into a call center, I abandon after a minute. I'll be added to both the abandoned call summary as well as this unreturned abandoned calls list. Now, let's say I call back in 60 minutes later and I wait a couple minutes and I actually talk to an agent. Because I called back in and because I actually connected with an agent in real time, I will actually be removed from this list. So the list will say, oh, hey, this caller called in before, they abandoned, however, they called back in and they spoke to an agent. The list will then, or basically at that point, the number will then be removed from the list. Same thing as if, I assign this number to one of my agents to call out to. I ask, hey, Lee, can you call this person here? They abandoned. If Lee calls them, he gets them on the phone. Once that active connection is made, the caller will then drop off the list here. So this list, honestly, the unreturned abandoned calls, is just a smart list that'll tell you who has truly abandoned and who hasn't. So you'll be able to really prioritize your agent's time and contact those users who have not had any assistance from you yet. So that's one of the new reports we added. The other one I wanted to go over is the Keep My Place in Queue call summary here. So for anybody who's not familiar with Keep My Place in Queue, it's a great product, a great feature we released recently. Pretty much it's a callback in queue system. Someone calls into a queue, they don't want to wait, whatever number you have configured to allow the caller to escape the queue. Once they escape the queue, Keep My Place in Queue will keep their information, so keep their phone number, and the Kakapo virtual cloud at that point will then distribute the call based on the normal prioritization rules of a call center. So if I call in, I put in a Keep My Place in Queue request for 2 minutes before Lee calls in. My call and my request will actually be handled before Lee's just because I called in first. You have all the same abilities to promote calls, to prioritize them, assign them to certain people, but this just gives you an additional way to allow callers to, not have to wait in queue, but also get help. When they, when an agent's available. So this report here will honestly, it's just going to allow you to really maximize the potential of the Keep My Place in Queue feature. We'll have, incoming calls, escape calls, and then from there, you'll see how many callbacks were requested, your percentages, the average duration for each callback, as well as how long someone waited. So there's really a lot of great information to help you maximize this feature. And this reporting, wasn't available on the previous ECCR reporting. Now, I mentioned a few other things. I mentioned Cradle to Grave reporting. I mentioned auto attendant and hunt group reporting. So I also wanted to show you folks that as well. Starting with the auto attendant reporting, we have our basic auto attendant summary. So for instance, let me just move this to this month. I can see how many calls were received by our auto attendants. The calls transferred is how many people have basically chosen an option within the auto attendant and went to that option or transferred to that option. You can see how many people basically just didn't leave the auto attendant. How long people are spending in the menu, the average duration. But if I wanted to take it one step further and I wanted to get a better idea of what people are actually choosing in the auto attendant, I can go to our auto attendant option summary. And from here, I can see where people are going. So in our multi-level auto attendant, we have a couple of one caller going to 8018. And unfortunately, it looks like the other 7 abandoned. So as a supervisor or as an admin, to me, what this can tell me is that maybe my auto attendant menu isn't set up properly. Maybe the options aren't routing where I need them to go. Maybe the prompt isn't the correct one for the auto attendant. So maybe it's telling them, hey, for sales, press 1, but option 1 goes to a voicemail. So this will really give you give you and your clients a lot of information that wasn't previously available in reporting. It'll all be available in Vision360 for you. Now, the other thing we added is the hunt group reporting. So, a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot of clients, but certain clients, they don't want to go to a call center. They prefer to stay with the hunt group. But, we've all gotten those requests before. We've been asked for reporting on hunt groups specifically. We've heard it, and we've tried to address that need by adding in our hunt group reports here. So we try to treat them like call centers. So you can look at them either at the hunt group level or at the user level. but pretty much this report will give you all the metrics that your customers would want for hunt groups. How many calls were received, how many were answered. Utilizing call center terminology, we also have abandoned callers, so people who hung up before they were answered in the hunt group. We can even look at total wait duration, average wait, total duration to answer. I mean, pretty much all the metrics that your clients would want for hunt groups are available in here as well. Now, I mentioned we treat them like call centers a bit, so you can look at it at the hunt group level, or you can look at it at the user level. So if I go to the user summary here, and I flip this to this month, we can see, I have all my users, how many calls they've received from different hunt groups, how many were answered. And if I click on a user, just like anything else in Vision360, you can always click on things to get, go deeper and get more information. I can actually see all the different calls that Abin has received from different hunt groups. So looks like he's received calls from 2 different hunt groups and he hasn't answered any of them. So maybe we need to turn his ringer on, or maybe we need to take him out of the hunt group. So really, you're going to get a lot of great information and a lot of great data that just previously wasn't available in reporting. So we've gone over the, kind of the basic reports. We've gone over some customization. I've showed you the, the unreturned abandoned calls, hunt group auto tenant reporting. Now, the other thing I mentioned on the slideshow is that we have Cradle to Grave reporting. And so part of that is, your auto tenant, your hunt group reporting. But the CLI tracing is what I really like to show for that. Now, what CLI tracing will do, if I throw in a phone number here and I search for it, at the outset, it looks kind of like a big call log, a big complicated call log. However, what everything in here is, it's showing you the main call as well as every single leg of that phone call. So instead of having to try to figure out through reports and looking at different reports to see who went where, this report's going to, and this section, I should say, is actually going to give you all of that right up front. And to make it easier, when you start going down the list here, the system will automatically highlight every single related leg of a phone call, so I don't have to guess based on the time and the date, which leg belongs to which phone call. So for instance, here we can see on June 6th, this user called in, processed by the ACD, it bounced off Agent Aaron, but Agent Max answered it, and they're on the phone for about 6 seconds. So, short conversation. Similar one down here. This one's a little different. It bounced off of Max. It went to voicemail. This is an outbound call. So again, you're going to see all the different legs of a phone call, and you're going to see what happens, basically what happened or the result of those. Now, I also like to scroll over to the right here, and there's a couple other metrics I like to add in. So one of the things I wanted to add in would be our failure reason, and the second one is going to be the external tracking ID. Now, your failure reason here is going to, and I apologize, I don't have one at the moment, but it corresponds with the SIP response code that the server gets. So if a call fails to a user because they're on Do Not Disturb, for instance, the failure reason listed would be busy. So you'd see busy here. If there's a network issue, not found, you'd see that listed as the failure reason. So it lists a specific reason as to why that call failed. So oh, okay, maybe Aaron, and if it said, failed and it said busy, maybe Aaron had his Do Not Disturb on, or maybe he accidentally enabled it. It just gives you some more information that you wouldn't previously have. Now, scrolling over a little bit more, you have your move from and your move to, so you can see where calls are transferred to, your recording state. But the other thing I like highlighting here is your external tracking ID. So this is really great to help with troubleshooting. So I'm really familiar with Palladian and White Monitor, two different softwares you can use to track SIP signaling and kind of track your different call legs. This external tracking ID here corresponds with the call ID in Voigtmon. So if a customer sent me this and I had Voigtmon open, I can paste that in and I can find that call exactly without having to dig, without having to ask for more information. I can pull up that call immediately. The benefit of all this additional information here is, number one, it gives your clients and your customers more information about what's happening with phone calls, why a call may have failed, where did the call go, was the call recorded. It also can help you drive to resolutions much faster. So if a customer has some call quality concerns, they can provide you much more relevant information so you can much more quickly diagnose and help them solve the problem, which just makes for a happy customer. So this is a really powerful section that I think will really add a lot of benefit to everybody. And the last thing that I wanted to go over here is I mentioned it before, but this is something that I also really like, the outbound call reports. Now, if you have any clients that are, have outbound sales teams that are not set up in call centers, this is really where this report will shine. So I have an outbound sales team of 50 people. I want them to place 100 calls a day. That's what I want, 100 calls a day, and I want them to be external calls, naturally. We're calling prospects and clients. So here I can see how many total outbound calls. I can see how many outbound external calls versus internal. So I can make sure people aren't trying to run up their numbers by calling each other or calling voicemails on the inside. I can see their total durations, average durations, and again, I can customize this. So while we have everyone selected, with reporting templates, if you have multiple sales teams, you can, like sales, you can divide them however you want, and then you'll be easily able to kind of flip between them so you can focus on what you need to focus on. And just like everything else, you can also click on any one of those users and you'll see the whole list of calls they've made, and you'll see all the information associated with it. So a really great way to track it. And then something apologize, folks, something I meant to mention before, you can export any one of these reports at any point in time directly from the portal. Just click this icon here to the right of your metrics button, and then you have 3 formats: Excel, PDF, and CSV. Scheduled reports at the moment come out in Excel, but when this goes to market, you'll have those 3 options for your scheduled reports as well. All right, so that covers everything I wanted to go over on the demo. Let me switch back to our PowerPoint real quick here. And before we break for question and answers, I want to just go over how Vision360 will help you. So number one, I've mentioned it before kind of in passing, but Vision360 is very easy to deploy. We're designing it so there's a switch you flip on a customer's account. As soon as you flip it, the proper Vision360 licensing will be assigned to all the agents. Makes it really easy for you. So deployment is very simple. The licensing is simple. I mentioned that the dashboard comes pre-configured right out of the box. So there's really no extra time that your engineering or your provisioning teams need to spend to make sure that Vision is set up for your customers. The other thing is, Vision360 was developed with customer feedback in mind. So this product really addresses what your customers want to see from reporting. And just like with all of our other products, we're very open to feedback. So if anyone has anything additional they want to see in here, just let us know and we'll make sure we'll work to add it for you. As you folks have probably seen already, Vision360 has a clean and clear interface, and that should honestly help you reduce the burden on your training teams. We like to say that, if someone has used a call center reporting tool before, as soon as they go into Vision360, within 15 minutes, they'll be able to figure out more or less where to get the information they need, how to customize reports, and how to schedule everything. So honestly, within 15 minutes, people will pretty much have a good handle on how to use the product. And lastly, the pricing model was designed for us to bring Vision360 to everybody. We want everyone to be able to benefit from this tool, so the pricing model was designed with simplicity in mind and to make this available to all. All right, so at this point in time, I've actually covered everything I wanted to go over on the, in terms of the demo and in terms of introducing the product. So I just wanted to open up for question and answer. Does anyone have any questions? I know that we have, Lee's been answering questions as well, but I just wanted to see if there's any others.
Would you like to demo the forwarding of the reports, in CSV? I think that's a good point to make as well.
Oh, yeah, actually, absolutely. So one of the things that you can do with any of the reports here that you create, you've probably seen this button on the different reports as well, is you can export these. So with the exporting, you can either export a specific report here, or you can, choose your Excel file, PDF, CSV, and then pretty much once this product goes to market, you'll have those options for your scheduled reports as well. At the moment, there's being sent out in Excel, but then as soon as this product gets released to market, you'll be able to choose Excel, CSV, or PDF.
Another question coming in, when's Vision360 going to be released, GA?
That is a great question. So we are releasing Vision360 within the next 6 to 8 weeks. Within the next 2 months, this will be available. for all.
Unity desktop clients, the reporting URL, will it be linked to the existing BroadWorks DMS-based reports?
So basically, with Vision360, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be completely replacing those ECCR reports. So the reporting buttons will still work on all the different clients. They'll pull up your Vision360 reports, and there's also going to be an additional URL that your users can log into to view the reports on their web browser, just like I did here.
Perfect. We've got one last question as well. How long is data retained for? 13 months?
Yep, as Lee said, it's retained for 13 months at present.
And will partners be able to try Vision360?
Absolutely. If anyone wants to try Vision360, if anyone wants to spin up a instance of Vision360 on your own internal, lab environment, and or for your company itself, absolutely. Let us know. We want to get this in your hands. We want to show you this product. We want you to use it. So if anyone is interested in getting Vision360 set up internally, email either myself or Lee. We'll get you the information you need, and we'll get it set up for you. But absolutely, we want to get this in your hands. So let us know. We'll get it set up for you.
Another comment, Max. Looks great. Thanks for the overview. Can you send a link to the recording? So definitely, link will be sent to all attendees.
Well, if we don't have any additional questions at this point, what I did want to mention is that we are offering demos on this. We've probably demoed this to some of our audience already. However, if anyone is interested in any demos or additional demos, feel free to contact either myself, Max Edwards, or my colleague Lee. We'll be happy to go over Vision360 with you, answer any questions you have. We can go over pricing, and we'll be happy to basically show you everything. Okay, well, perfect. Well, thank you again, everybody. We really appreciate you joining. We really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to show you this product. Like we mentioned, we're really excited for it, and if anyone is interested in more information, wants to get this set up internally, absolutely let us know. We'll get it set up for you. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day and wonderful rest of their week. Thank you again.